Thanks, Mr Chairman. Appreciate your help. I now just want to go to the other parochial interest I have, and that's the announcement made on the 24th of April 2013 in relation to the Bruce Highway. Could you give me a financial year by financial year breakdown of the federal government's $4.1 billion announcement for the Bruce Highway?
Not at this stage, Senator, I'm sorry. The government has announced its $4.1 billion program over 10 years, but has not at this stage settled cash profiles for the individual projects that it has nominated for proceeding in Nation Building 2 and beyond. That level of detail is still under discussion with the Queensland Government.
But the announcement made on the 24th of April indicated that the $4.1 billion would be spent, and it particularly mentioned a great number of projects, all of which are important. As a regular user of the Bruce Highway, I look forward to them all. But I really would like to know what amount of money has been allocated to each of those particular road projects that were averted to in the announcement of the 24th of April. For example, the Yeppan South floodplain upgrade. How much money is allocated to that?
At this stage, while we have some indicative estimates, the Minister is yet to finalise.
Can you give us the indicative estimate then?
I'd have to take that on notice, Senator. I think in the absence of the Minister settling the program, I'm not in a position to provide those numbers, I'm sorry.
Okay, tell me about the Mackay Northern Access upgrade.
Again, Senator, I'm sorry, all of those Bruce Highway projects, while we have indicative estimates forming part of the $4.1 billion, the Minister is still in discussions with the Queensland Government in relation to the amount of contribution from the Queensland Government, and those project estimates are yet to be settled.
Mr Murdoch, how long have we been talking about the Yeppan South floodplain upgrade? How many estimates now? Would it be 6, 10, 20?
The first stages of that project are underway, Senator, and the follow-up stages, Mr Pittard may give some more detail, but the follow-up stages announced as part of the 4.1 are yet to have final program schedules of cash.
So you have absolutely no financial year by financial year commitment to any of those 20 different projects?
We have an indicative program which the Minister has yet to finalise, and so I'm not in a position to provide those.
When do you think the Minister might finalise them?
We would hope they be finalised shortly to enable the start of the next financial year, but that will be a matter for the Minister to settle, Senator.
So the Mackay Northern Access upgrade, no details of what's available?
Again, the Government has made commitments to those projects proceeding, but I don't, at this stage, I'm not in a position to provide you with cash flows and contribution levels of the Commonwealth to each individual project, Senator, I'm sorry. So
the Mackay Ring Road, similar answer?
Yes, Senator.
The Rockhampton North access corridor, no details, no commitment of particular funds?
As I said, beyond indicative estimates, but which the Minister has yet to finalise the program schedule and provide that.
Is the Minister going to check your estimates, is he?
The Minister, we've provided some indicative estimates based on certain amounts of co-contribution from Queensland. Those negotiations are still taking place with the State of
Queensland. The Queensland Government made it very clear what their contribution is.
I think those discussions are continuing, Senator.
Well, reading newspaper reports, I thought they made it very clear what their contribution would be.
Newspapers aren't necessarily the best.
Well, I've also actually had it from the Minister, but I wasn't going to. So same for the Horton River Bridge upgrade. No, nice announcement, but no cash committed.
There is a commitment to the project, Senator, but we're not in a position to provide you with the cash flows across the out years for that project at this point.
So where do I find the $4.1 billion announcement if I look at the budget papers? Can you refer that to me, please? What page in the portfolio budget statement?
Senator, I think you'll find the figures for nation building in budget paper 3.
Well, are they not in this document, which is, as I understand it, your statements for 2013-14, so there's no commitment in 13-14?
They are split between, some provision for nation building is in our portfolio budget statement, but they're also, the bulk of the funding which is given to state governments is actually done through the Treasury portfolio budget statement as a Commonwealth state transfer payment, and that therefore it's covered in budget paper 3.
So the 4.1 billion is not Mr Albanese's announcement and not your department's responsibility?
They are part of the nation building program. The administration of the funds and how they're reported in the budget papers is done through Treasury because we pay them through the Treasury, through the Commonwealth state financial arrangements.
Well, tell me which page I'll find whatever part of your budget goes towards then. Where would I find those figures?
Senator, on page 30, it talks about program 1.1 expenses.
Page 30?
And, yes.
Now,
But that does not include, Senator, the Treasury payments, as Mr Murdoch outlined.
Okay, and which figure is it? Nation building program investments, those figures?
Those figures, Senator, yes. But they're only a component of nation building.
Okay, so
the remainder is in the Treasury.
You've got 1.3 billion, 1.3 billion, yes, in 2012-13, and you've got 1.4 billion in 13-14. Is that right?
Yes, Senator, but that's only a component of the nation building program. The majority of it's in the Treasury payments.
Okay, well, can you refer me, as it's something your department ministers, can you refer me to where I would see those figures in Treasury's papers? You'd know that.
We'll get you that this morning. We'll get you that detail.
Well, I think it's budget paper 3, page 83.
Budget paper 3. And will that show me that the funds are available? Will that give me a financial year breakdown, year by year, of how that 4.1 billion is to be spent?
No, Senator, that'll give you the allocations by nation building program. It doesn't split it down into the project level.
Well, where would I find details of the $4.1 billion announced on the 24th of April on a year-by-year basis? Now, the announcement made suggested that that funding would start now, and so what I'm really looking for is the year-by-year where that is going to be spent.
Senator, that detail is in the program schedule, which is yet to be settled by the minister. That I think you're seeking individual cash flows by year against each project.
Well, even the total of the 4.1, if you can't give me individuals, how much is going to be spent in 13-14, how much in 14-15, how much in 15-16, or indeed how much, as I think you indicated, Mr Murdoch, was 16-17, the year after the next following federal election.
As I say, Senator, at this stage, the only information which we can provide in relation to the Bruce is as budget paper 3, page 83, which has the amounts by year across the total funding. We don't have the level of detail against each project over the 10 years to provide you at this stage. Thanks to
Senator Back, I now have the page 83 of budget paper 3. Can you just point out which line I would find? I mean, I see there's lines about the Apt Railway and the Centenary of Canberra and community infrastructure grants, the East Kimberley Development Project. Where do I find the 4.1? Roads to Recovery, I see. Parliament House Walk, I see. Regional Infrastructure Fund, I see. Townsville Convention Centre, it's a good one. See all that, but...
Senator, it's located in, if you look at the about 2/3 of the way down the page, investment, we've got road, and we've also got the Regional Infrastructure Fund. Projects on the Bruce Highway that form part of the $4.1 billion commitment over the forward estimates are contained in those two lines, essentially.
Well, I don't see I see 2.7 current year, 2.1, 2, and then 2. But they're for every road in Australia, not the Bruce Highway $4.1 billion.
That's right, Senator. The 4.1 is over a 10-year period from 2012.
Oh, so it's a 10-year period now. So it's not available in 2016-17, it's
The commitment is 4.1 billion over 10 years, commencing 12-13
okay.
onwards.
So is there any profile of the financial year spending from next 2013-14 through to 10 years? Do we know?
Well, Senator, we're just traversing old ground here. The question's been given, and down to the detail of the page numbers in portfolio budget
Yeah, but
statements.
the page numbers show
for this
nothing,
portfolio and for the money that will come through Treasury to the states through agreements. But the Australian public can have every confidence that the money is in the budget for this. Unlike the opposition, who keep saying that they're going to commit to building this project.
Order!
Where's the money coming
I'll
from?
tell you what I will, Senators, I'll tell you what I will do. I'll shut it down in a minute. I'm just in the mood. All right? No, don't listen, Chairman.
Last 2 days. Now,
Yeah. Well, I'm back. All right? And I'll tell you right now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. What we will do is the Minister was answering a question, and I would... Senators, I really do have a sense of humour, but it's waned, and I've only been back 1 hour. But when you all start laughing and carrying on like chooks, that's the sort of behaviour I expect in state parliaments or councils. No, I'll take that back. State parliaments, definitely. And I would strongly urge you to allow the Minister to finish his answer. But if we want to turn it into a circus, I'll pull stumps. I've got no problem. And we'll have a private meeting. We will have a private meeting. I've got no dramas. So, on that, Senator Back and Senators Nash and Williams, if we want to have a giggle, we'll go look at Tony Abbott's policy platform. Then we can have a real giggle. So the minister is answering a question, and I would urge senators to show some manners and let him finish. Minister.
Well, thank you, Chair. Yes, you can. And the money is in the budget. It's been announced, and the representatives that are here have given the explanations on indications where those figures are in the portfolio budget statements and in the broader Treasury papers. But again, I reiterate the point. No announcement's been made from the opposition regarding how they're going to fund this proposal and whether they will proceed.
Chairman, this is Senate
with this.
estimates.
Exactly.
And Senate estimates is a process in which the committee scrutinise the budget, in this case, of the department. It's not an issue associated with what the coalition might or might not do, and neither should we get quotes out of the hollow men about 10 years in terms of budgeting. So, with deep respect, I think we should get back to the questions.
Well, with respect, I think
Minister, you might be...
you might consider your description of government officials, Senator, and withdraw that.
What description of government?
As hollow men?
You've missed completely. I'm referring to the ABC program from which the Treasurer's script was taken in his budget statement the other night, Senator Thistlethwaite.
Okay.
Minister Murdoch knows very well I have the highest respect.
No, we will, but I've sat in this committee and seen prawns passed across the table and all sorts of gimmicks. But yes, you are right, Senator Back. We will get back. It is about Senate estimates. But I'm happy if we continue Senate estimates for the next 24, 48 hours and actually talk about the budget, not the free range and rubbish that does come out sometimes. But on that, Senator Macdonald, you were asking questions. I know Senator Ludlam has questions as well as Senator Back, and no doubt Wacker and Senator Nash.
Yeah, well...
Sorry, Senator Williams. Sorry.
We have indicated, Mr Chairman, I hope you've been advised that Senator Back, Senator Williams, Senator Nash, Senator Fawcett, Senator Birmingham and myself have questions on this area. And we understand we're going through until 2:15. Is that correct?
We are going through to the allotted time. We have 1:15. 2:15. 1:15 is when we finish.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, back, Mr Murdoch, if you can continue to demonstrate to me in the budget papers, which is what estimate's about, on where the $4.1 billion is shown to be available for spending. Now, I think we got to the fact where you said that it's not now. Does it not start until 16, 17 and then goes 10 years after that? Is that it?
No, Senator. The program What the Queensland Government set out was seeking a 10-year program from the Australian Government for the Bruce Highway, and that is what the Australian Government has essentially agreed and will deliver. The budget papers, as I indicated to you, give you the global amount by year across the program. In relation to the Bruce Highway, I'm not in a position to provide you individual project cash flows because that program is yet to be settled by the Minister. What I can give you, Senator, is a breakdown of how the money, that 4.1, falls across the nation building program in global amounts. Essentially, the program commences in the Bruce Highway package includes 12-13, and in effectively what is the balance of nation building 1, there's $1.213 billion for the Bruce Highway. In 2014 to 2018-19, which is nation building 2.
Sorry? Oh, I see. You have 5 years, 14-18, yeah.
14 to 18-19 is $1.844 billion for Bruce Highway projects. And from 1920 to 22-23, which is within the 10-year timeframe requested by Queensland, $1.094 billion, which gives you the total of $4.1 billion for individual projects on the Bruce Highway.
Okay. So 1.2 million this year from previously announced funding. That's the Nation Building 1.
Nation Building 1, including the projects over the 12 months. The Minister in the budget announcement, they include projects such as the duplication of the Bruce Highway between Karoi South and Sankey's Road, Section A.
Yeah, but the 2012-13, which is the financial year we're just about to finish, they're all pre-announced commitments.
Their projects are underway, which includes Karoi Kara
okay. But that's included in the 4.1, is it? Over
yes,
10 years?
Yes, Senator.
Okay. Well, the 4.1 announcement was only made on the 24th of April. So how could 1.2 of it be in the current financial year that's already been allocated 12 months ago?
Well, predominantly that relates to Karoi Kara A, which was agreed with the Queensland Government late last year.
Okay. So it's not 4.1 for the next 10 years, it's 4.1 less 1.2.
No, Senator, it is 4.1 over a 10-year period, including 12-13 to 22-23.
I might add,
the announcement
Senator,
was made on the 24th
by the
of
Queensland
April,
Government.
and the 24th of April is sort of 10/12ths of the way through the year 2012-13.
Well, Senator, as I said, it includes major projects like
Okay.
Karoi Kara A,
Right.
which was only agreed late last year with the Queensland Government.
Senator Macdonald,
All right.
can I just interrupt for a second? I've just been, it's been brought to my attention that Mr Deegan has to leave by 11:30 to catch an aeroplane to Perth. And I really wish I was coming with you, Mr Deegan. But could I just get an indication of senators around the table who have questions for Infrastructure Australia? Because with your indulgence, Senator Macdonald, I'll let you finish your train of questioning, but if we can wrap up about 10:30, if we can head to Mr Deegan. Give him an hour.
As soon as I've finished this, Mr Chairman, I'd be happy, and I think everyone would be happy to go to Mr Deegan now.
Did you want to finish doing what?
Yeah, I'll just finish.
Okay.
Just finish this if I want.
Thanks,
So,
Colin.
of the 4.1 announced on the 24th of April, 1.84 will be spent in the years 14-18. Is that correct?
Yes, the financial year is 14-15 to 18-19, that's correct.
Okay, and 1.09 18-19 through to 23-24.
Yes, 19-20 to 22-23.
Okay. Well, thanks, Mr Chairman. I've got, and I'm sure my colleagues have questions about other nation-building programs, but if we could